Can see that close?
Yep.
I'm Nick the Bee Man, and we are going to retrieve a swarm here at Papa Hank's Sky Ridge Blueberry Farm in Placerville. Looking at that swarm, it's about 20,000 bees, give or take 1,000. And what I'm going to do now is trim a couple of branches away for ease of access. If you notice, the bees remain calm. As long as I don't shake the tree too much, they will stay in their position. The queen is in the middle of that swarm. She gives off a scent, a pheromone, that the other bees recognize, and they stay there. She's in the middle so the rest can protect her. Without the queen, there is no viable hive. That gives plenty of room for me to work. If these bees were on the end of a limb, we would use a box and cut the complete limb off and drop it into the box. Since it's on the trunk of the tree, and I don't like to destroy trees, we're going to use a bee vacuum. It's pretty much similar to a standard vacuum, except it doesn't have quite the draw, because you don't want to be baking up the bees too much. It's a wooden box, and within the wooden box there is another box, but this box is screened. Has a screen on two sides, and it has a removable bottom for when we hive the bees after we capture them. The vacuum will enter the outside box through the outside box to the inside box. The vacuum is dissipated through the screens so the bees don't get slammed into the box too abruptly or hard. But even so, to say feature it, on the inside of the box, on the back wall, is a very soft cushion opposite the vacuum hole. And that's so when the bees come in, they'll hit that cushion and not get hurt. Without bees, you don't have a hive. You can usually get by with retrieving a swarm without a suit. But my hero days are over. I retired my cape. So I use a suit in every instance. Doesn't look like a household vacuum, but it does the same thing. It has the same function, same purpose. But it's made for bees. It's actually called a bee blower. just like vacuuming a house, got a couple different tips for the different angles you have to approach. Staging is everything. You have to be ready because you don't want to keep the bees in the box for too long. It gets warm in there, they get agitated, and the less excitable they are, the better off they are. I have a very low-tech instrument here, spray bottle of water, and once the bees go in there, I will open up and spray the outsides of the screen. That'll give them something to do. They get wet, they got to be preening themselves and cleaning themselves off. And besides that, it keeps them cool, as well as giving them something to do. These bottles are to feed a supplement when they need it, and we use essential oils, and it helps the bees. This one's empty, they're done. But there's holes in the bottom of the mason jar lid, and they stick their tongues in there to access the liquid.
Okay, show that again.
They stick their tongues in the little holes on the end of the lid to access the liquid, just as they would nectar out of a flower. Here's one, and you can see them on the lid, trying to get the liquid.
Got it.
Biggest thing about bees is just move slow. Don't wave your arms around. It throws them in defense mode. Hey, George.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I got to give a shot myself. This particular swarm afforded us ease of access. It's right close to the ground on a ponderosa tree, very young ponderosa tree. I've seen them on bushes, and I've seen them 70 feet up, 80 feet up a tree. We can get about 20, 25 feet up with sections of hose pipe, but today we don't need that. It's going to be a little noisy, but you'll see the bees. What's going to happen is they're going to start getting sucked in. You'll see the mass grow smaller, but you'll also see some excitability. You will see the bees start to fly around, some will fall. What I'll do is get as many as I can, then I will wait, and the remaining bees flying around will go back to that same spot, regather, and we'll do that once or twice more to try to get every bee. They will go to that same spot because the pheromone of the queen will remain there. And hopefully we'll get all the bees that are here. We will not get all of them because what this is, what a swarm actually is when a hive here on the farm gets too full and we don't catch it in time, the old queen tells half of the bees, "Let's go, girls," and that's a swarm. The other half of the bees gets a new queen because eggs were laid in there for a new queen. The new queen stays in the old hive and starts filling up that hive again. The old queen sits in the middle of that swarm and she sends out scouts. The scouts are out right now, maybe up to 40, 50 scouts, and they're looking for a new home for this hive, for this swarm rather. They could very well leave before I start vacuuming them up, and it looks like a cloud, and they will go to that new home. I will start vacuuming them, but we will get most of them, but if we get them all now and leave, the scouts are going to come back. They're just going to hang out with no direction anymore because they don't have a boss, and they will perish. But there's no way to get every one of them. You can already see the dent, and what I'm going to try to do is go for the thickest part and go right for the middle so I make sure I get the queen.